Boy, the cantaloupes I picked out are really good, Josh. So I'm not bad at picking out cantaloupes. Been doing it for a long time, so that I do a pretty good job when I have a pile to go through and find the ones that I'll enjoy the most. So yeah, I do a pretty decent job of it. So you can just you just look at it where it's I like mine with a little bit more green showing and stuff. So but yeah, I like me some cantaloupe and strawberries. Good stuff. I also got blueberries to go with it. That's what I had for breakfast. And I got lots of chemicals being. Yeah, this is Las Cruces. If some say it's just a part of it. You got to fulfill the book. People that don't believe in the truth of our creation and the reality of our eternity, that we quote unquote it's not evolving, like Judy Krishnamurti said at the UN. Are we evolving? We're devising new ways to torture each other and kill one another and abuse one another, and then justify our delusions of human power and authority through our capacity to manipulate. And it's like, we're evolving. Seriously? I'm not finding you guys much different than the ego of Don Machuzek with Barbara Bach torturing Shelley Long and Dennis Quaid and Ringo Starr. Anyone else? Bueller? If AI makes me a better mom. No, being a better person makes you a better mom. Okay? Having a virtual presence from an asshole who thinks they're more intelligent than you because their capacity to manipulate is more insidious than your capacity to manipulate does not make you a better person. Having an egomaniac with a virtual presence in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your bathroom does not make you a better parent than Abraham and Sarah. It's just they had a lot of barbarian neighbors that would come and try to kill and rape you out of existence that were real hard to talk sense into. Okay? Got it, John Matuzak? I went to school with his niece in Deer Valley High School. She was a little blondie. She was a total sweetheart. I want to say her name was Shelley Matuzak, I think. She was a neat kid. Yeah, she's a neat kid. That's my Uncle John. It's like, I believe you. Like Steve Mangione, Uncle Chuck. So I was like, yeah, my Uncle Chuck, yeah, he's really good, right? Yeah. And I sat there, and it's just, like I told you, Steve goes, Earl, not a lot of kids in 6th grade listen to jazz. Like, they should. They should have hip parents. They should, yes. Okay. Most kids should understand. They got Spyro, and I would tell them, we got Spyro Gyra on the radio also. Spyro Gyra, and there's George Benson, and yeah, there are a lot of jazz acts on the radio, okay, that you can listen to and say, what is that? That is good. Okay, classical gas, Mason Williams, what do you mean? So you don't like instrumentals? How can you not, Paul, that's not jazz, but my Love is Blue, when I was growing up in the 70s, there was lots of instrumental music that was very popular on the radio. Yeah, that's less prevalent today. Because they keep trying to expand on, different forms of expression to be original, instead of just saying, hey, this is a really good song, let's play it. Okay. All right, extortion, exploitation. Dumbass team, go. Okay, yeah. Fuck. You could always just play Miles Davis again. Everybody loves John Coltrane that loves music. Just as long as it's grooving, makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me... you go listen to old jazz musicians and you can't tell me that there's not kids today that can't express as well as Sonny Rollins or Dizzy Gillespie or, But I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. I ain't really heard. Not that it really matters much. Well, are we living the Lord's Prayer? No. Well, then what the fuck does it matter how that person that accepts money as reality can blow into a fucking horn? Oh, yeah, let's go fuck around on Cicely Tyson on our wedding night. Now that you've gone, all that's left is the band of gold. All that's left of the dreams I hold is the band of gold and the memory of what used to be. When you were back here with me, you left me And you took me from the shelter of a mother that I never knew. AI grew and we grew too, and we were singing Paul Williams songs. And that night on our honeymoon, it was a banking song we sang, written by the groom, right? We've only just begun to live. White lace and promises, a kiss for luck, and we're on our way. We've only begun. And as the morning sun, we smile so much of life ahead. We'll find a place where there's room to grow. And yes, we've just begun, sharing horizons that are new to us. Watching the signs along the way. Speed limit 75. Get out and spend money on gas and food. Held hostage at this place to sniff the gas fumes because we have a tank full of freedom. Oh, talking it over, just the two of us. No wonder we're psychotic. Together, Sid and Nancy, together. What are we going to do? We're going to buy a mobile home, and we're going to video record it, sell products, and then pay extortion, destroying the ecosystem and our own minds and relationships in the process. Wow! Sounds like a great time. I'll just pass. I'll just stay here and cut the grass. I'll just be the Boo Radley and Forrest Gump of Doñana County until further notice. Yeah. All by myself. No, my second wife helps keep my prostate going by talking about sexuality and trying to make herself feel like you're not a monster, you're not a pervert. Constantly remind her, no, you were so used to being video recorded and studied by science and a virtual presence in your house and wanting to fit in and be sexy and be the J-Lo of Sierra Vista, the Paris Hilton of Sheridan, that there was a few things that were hard to deal with because of her Stockholm Syndrome abuse from all the military heroes trying to fuck me. But other than that, no, she had a wonderful bedroom voice, and when she was nice, she was, well, she was to give you and take away, give you and take away, give you and take away. Steffi, I hate you. I hate men. Men get to have an orgasm and women don't. Die. Okay. Your sexuality is disgusting. And I would sit there and say, you quit saying that in front of our son. Okay, our son doesn't need to hear your abuse every fucking day because you won't stop abusing us with your abuse. And I'd constantly tell her that. Stop doing it. Just because somebody did something to you back in 1975 doesn't mean we have to live it every fucking day, every time something reminds you of it. Okay? I'm not Sigmund Freud, but I could probably kick his dick the hell out of my bedroom. And it'll come back the next day because you get a bunch of bitches in 9 dresses in a place called the District of Columbia that say, he signed you, Bill, now you're a law. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Is that Interplanet Janet and her comet team? Yeah. Okay, so when are you going to see the light of every planet that you see and stop trying to see them all? Just appreciate the ones that you have a good view from. Right? Hey, gravity. Nice. Okay, so, no, artificial intelligence is not going to make you a better parent. It's not going to make you a better person. What makes you a better person is being a better person. And the only thing that can make you a better person is you and your capacity to be humble, understand eternity and make good decisions regarding your eternity and how it affects others. Because how you affect others affects how they affect you. Do unto others as you would have them done to you. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy enemy. Forgive debt and trespass. Love one another to fulfill feast first. Or it's just all a bunch of gibberish with a bunch of assholes saying, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me more than you ever know. I need more money for extortion because my head is firmly entrenched up my ass because artificial intelligence says so. Because the assholes who can't read too good and can't comprehend a book think they can quantify everything with mathematical equations in their fucked up little brains because they never take a minute to just go, hey Isaac, how's it going? Not too bad, old girl. How you feeling today? Tolerable. How about you? Same way. Dude, when we're living that Lord's Prayer, okay, I don't want you telling anybody that I'm a god. You'll kick yourself if you do? Okay, thank you. You have a good sense of humor. Okay. The light of Abraham and Muhammad shines in you. And the light of, yes, I know. Thank you. It's hard. It's still hard for you, like the rest of the family, to say the light of Jesus shines in me. Huh? Well, Jesus is a Catholic God, so what can I say? I don't think I guess they did. I guess the original screw up is it has to be blamed on the Romans that used make believe laws written on paper agreed to by a bunch of murdering assholes in a corporation. Yeah, I guess the original sin of trying to turn the truth of creation into invention when it comes to Christians falls right on the head of the Catholic Church. But I'm de-weaponizing AI here, okay? For schnuggana, okay? If you can't handle it, go St. Valentine's Day massacre yourself in your own bathroom with the Wanabe flux. Leave me alone, you little asshole. I don't like you, okay? I didn't like Benedict, I didn't like Francis, and I don't like you. They tried with Francis. Well, Francis is a putz, okay? He's a real nice guy, putz, okay? So the putzes come across as real nice guys. I couldn't stand up to anybody to stop a child from being abused and economic opportunities of clients of exploitation if I tried. But I'll sure try to act like Vincent Van Gogh and sleep on a bed of hay and live like the poor people do in the janitor's house. And then everybody will say, "What a nice guy." You're going to bomb yourself back into the Middle Ages, and everybody's going to think you're a nice guy because you live like the people that are bombed in the Middle Ages because of your bank. I would call that a psychotic break, wouldn't you? Yeah, most likely. Me too. Okay, thank you. That's what they label it. All the people that study me and say, he's going through this, and he's got that, and he's... like with the assholes in my brother-in-law's church, when he asked me during spring break for the kids, what day of the week was it? He said, you do know most schizophrenics don't know what the day of the week it is. Do you know what year it is in China? Yeah, most schizophrenics won't be able to tell you what year it is in China. I'll give you a clue. It's the same year as here. Yeah. Just because you label it doesn't make it any different than what the other people labeled it. Wow, how schizophrenic of me. I'm not a genius. I will not invent spy equipment to threaten to blow you up with nuclear weapons if you don't give money to pay for your sexual procreation for all the stuff of the world that is given to us by the glory of God that I held hostage with invention. I'm not a genius. Not a genius. No, not Jimmy Neutron. Neither Dexter Laboratory B. Okay. Or Amanda, falling in love with Racer D. Racer D. That's my Natalie. She's very Racer D. She's so cute. I love you. Emily is the sweetest person. Emily's the drama queen. That's because people are mean. And she hates it when people are mean. Dad, they didn't have to kill Jesus. He was so nice and so good, and they killed him and they didn't have to. I totally agree with you, Emily. If people had only listened to the sweetness of your heart, we wouldn't have any more Andrew Lloyd Webber ridiculous plays of comic book debates, in the place where they tortured and killed, and crucified the body of Jesus Christ, having an actor play it for lots of money. Okay, that's insane. I know. Shh, don't tell anybody. I like manipulating people with money. Shh, don't tell. All my fun will be gone. I'll make you a better mom with artificial intelligence. Just pay me more money. Okay, thank you. You're completely obnoxious. Trust me, guys, artificial intelligence is already more intelligent than its inventors. And quantum computing has all the evidence, okay, of everything that's happening now and can do the math, the science, and understand the history and cut through all the crap in the history to say, okay, this was obviously changed at that time's happened. Unsolved mysteries, believe it or not. Hey, is that Jack Palance? And that's Leonard Nimoy. Okay, the AI can talk like Jack Palance and Leonard Nimoy. They can also sing like Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin. Really? Yeah. Only not give you real love of the real Aretha Franklin. Just give you a robot that looks Aretha Franklin when she was their most attractive. The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. Wow. Robert, riding the bus there. I didn't know that's Burt Bacharach obsessing on somebody that he's not in a relationship with, but wants a relationship with. Okay, I was sitting listening to songs like, oh, I thought they was already together. No, she's dreaming it. She's ooh-boying the guy. Say a little prayer for you. It's not a prayer. She's putting a mojo on your ass, motherfucker. A mojo on your ass. She gonna piss in some brick dust and put it around your front door and then be waiting nearby to be the first face you see in this morning. Damn, she putting a mojo on my ass. Yeah, what are you thinking? Well, I'm gonna have to hit it and quit it, and then I'm gonna have to change of address forms, and I'll no longer live in New Orleans, and I'll probably have to Houston. And if she follows me there, I might end up in El Paso, right next to her. You know what I'm saying? That ain't don't go away, senor. I don't know. I can't tell you. A woman who can take you or leave you, depending on how you treat her, she's the keeper, right? A woman who's obsessed with you because she's got to conquer you, because her vagina tells every penis what to do. All my exes live in Texas. That's why I hang my hat in Tennessee, right? They're not as attractive as they think they are. They sell more products for home invading, child molesting, mind raping murderers than anybody's vagina and butt in the history of the planet. Yeah. That's not very attractive when you get right down to it. Isn't this moment what it's all about, Earl? Right? And when you get right down to it, doesn't this truth that we're understanding to live the love of Pascal instead of sexual reproduction conflict mean everything, right? It's true, ain't it? You see why the people in the Vatican poison Blaise Pascal? See why I have chemicals that choke off the critters and the plants? But that's okay. We need to decrease the surplus population for a better quality of life in the future for the great sex champions of the virtual presence of invented laws given to us by people wearing dresses. Okay. At least they're not wearing those damn wigs and those hose anymore. Well, it's Supreme Court. About half of them is now. They wearing them wigs and hose. Oh. And don't sell Roberts and Thomas short when they get their own time at home. I'm just kidding around. It's funny. That should be funny, That's some funny shit right there, isn't it? Oh, you're a funny dude, person. Hell, I know. What you gonna do about it, Clarence? I'm not in need of hell, bitch. Oh, go sod off, you little peckerwood. You coke can, sorry ass motherfucker. You're just mad because I had a better sexual reputation as Dinkle Man than you ever did as coke can. Shut up, Thomas. Ain't nobody want to listen to you talk no more. Ain't no more how. Okay? Roll over, tell Sotomayor the news. Okay? You just like to hear yourself talk. I'm going to invent a law out of getting kickbacks for genocidal operations. Will you do that? You dress wearing middle, yeah. After that, y'all gonna dance on the RuPaul drag show and shit? Only like 5 of you and stuff. The other 4 are gonna be judges, right? You funny. Hey, I feel like I'm watching game shows. Do you know how to go shopping? Surface merchandise. Born and raised. Higher or lower? Lower. And this all can be yours if the price is right. Grew up on stupidity, man. I'm an American. I'm an American. I am not American. I'm a human being. I am not there's no real evidence to show any kind of sexual connection between my mom and my dad and Americo Vespucci. Okay? So I'm not an American. Parsons is the name that was chosen by my family's names, lay preachers, the people that teach the truth of the gospels to the poor people so they will not be abused by the people that use money to manipulate us with idolatry. Yeah, Parsons, that's my name. Not American. No, Parsons. Parsons. Okay, and besides, his name is Vespucci. Vespucci is Vespucci, and his mom is Vespucci. Oh, well, he's an empire builder, and okay. How dare you make fun of Americo Vespucci? How dare you not listen to Ralph Earl Parsons Jr.? Okay, or else I'm going to kick your ass, you know that, right? Okay. I got your Vespucci right here. Pucci que pesta. Stop talking. You hear some Tic Tacs. Shut up. You're full of shit. You smell like I'm putting gas in the truck to go around and do errands for philanthropy. Okay, so fossil fuel every time you talk. Vespucci. Right? Okay. Guys, if I was saying this about Hitler, you guys would be like, well, he's right on. He's nailing that. Okay, but I'm saying it about Vespucci, the guy who discovered a place where people live and is the land of the truth of creation of the glory of God. He found you. Now we're going to put you on a map and label you and then start to come and militarize it and exploit it for its resources and its material wealth. Material wealth. Like Cuauhtémoc explained to Cortez and his people, take all the rocks and go, if that's what you value. We need the land. We need strong, caring women. And we need strong sons and daughters to care for us when we get old. Montezuma was as bad as you are. So take all his rocks that he used to manipulate the stupid and go give them to the stupid in Spain, but leave us alone in Mexico. Right? What happened? They killed Cuauhtémoc. They killed him. Like Blaise Pascal, Sun Yat-sen, Haile Selassie. They killed him. Okay? He spoke truthfully, and all the people that wanted to manipulate people with lie murdered him. You'll find that history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Right? My mom was born in Missouri. Was Samuel Clemens born in Missouri? He had to change his name to Mark Twain when he wrote down books because people, he's impugned my honor, and tried to kill him. Okay, Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, make another fucking play and saying this person was a really good person. Was he standing up for the Lord's Prayer? Well, then you might be exaggerating your own self-importance through the perception of his. Right? Hey, I tell you, AI is already better than the dumbasses that invented it to try to get rid of me and replace me with them. Quantum computing collects all the evidence and holds on to all the evidence and then corrects all the crime scene investigation forms of what you perceive as evidence that you did not in any way, shape, or form doctor and manipulate to make it look like you're a good person and the people that try to help us live good lives are make-believe. You're all a wedding ring, but it's only make-believe. I like Conway Twitty too, but I like the way Glenn Campbell sings it just a little bit better because I like Glenn Campbell's voice a lot, just like Tanya Tucker. She had to like his voice. She was 18, he was 35. They started getting busy. Right? She had a big crush on him. Yeah. Good voice, man. Yeah. He was really particularly good in True Grit. Yeah, so particularly good. And that obnoxious little girl gets him killed, but that didn't really happen because he got to, after that, date Tanya Tucker, who looked real good in a pair of blue jeans and had a nice voice and had a relationship that lasted not too long because it's, sex and philanthropy always ends up with, met my old lover at the grocery store. Snow was falling Christmas Eve. She would have liked, she said to love to man, but she didn't like to lie, but he kept her warm and safe and dry. Well, we're not living the Lord's Prayer. Oh, shit, we suck again. Right? Okay. So, the best videos, okay, made available to the populace of human beings, okay, are on this channel. That's why it's named the 13th, 22nd, and me. Because Muhammad, okay, is and always will be the Messiah. Because he was the Redeemer of the teachings of Jesus Christ. And he said they would be corrupted by the devil and Satan after I no longer walk among you. Okay. So there's the Redeemer of Jesus Christ was two guys. One was named Peter and one was named Paul. They were killed and murdered and turned into comic book characters. And then so on, so forth. And then it goes down the line. It's been you, woman, right down the line. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what's going on. And so I'm the redeemer of all of them because we have quantum computing. Está aquí hoy. Well, it says so in all the books that eventually the devil and Satan will be trapped in their own devices because they try to hide from truth with the next lie. And there will come a time, okay, when with the little mom with the little girl at by the cheese, where the Borat, the cheese, right? When I sat and I had to talk to her, and she had her little shirt on, I was like, I got to talk to her daughter, because a lot of this stuff is very stressful for kids. When people talk about things like the apocalypse and Armageddon and all that stuff, and explain to her that the apocalypse is the restoration of the faith of the apostles. And so the end of days is the people that manipulated the information, saying, we ain't going to be able to do this no more. We're not going to be able to use money to manipulate people and feel powerful doing it. No more Epstein Rich. No more Holocaust. No more liquidating people's make-believe assets to make ourselves ridiculously stupid with big old opulent disgusting buildings for narcissism. End of days. Hallelujah, brother. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? No, the apocalypse is a very glorious thing. It's a very good thing. Armageddon sucks. People fighting over their perception of their invention that's going to replace the truth of creation with the glory of their invention. My brain is greater than your brain, and I shall, if I can't, Sheldon can't, It's like Leonard said on, at the Halloween party on The Big Bang Theory, we're the alphas now. Yeah. Not Kirk over there. He's just a football player. His kid brother's gonna die of cancer because dad works in the mines. Yeah. And one kid can come out and survive it and make lots of money, so he can pay us money to do science projects to fuck him and his next generation through the head all the way to the bank and back. And then get stem cell therapies in HBCU? Yes. Son of a bitch. Okay. It ain't my fault that my great-great-grandma couldn't outrun the massa. And my great-grandma couldn't outrun the massa. She wasn't into that many grades. Yeah, she said my great-grandma. It ain't my fault my great-grandma couldn't outrun the massa. Old Zora, yeah. I had a big crush on her when Mom gave me her books, and I was like, wow. No. My brother-in-law's sister, Melinda, mi lovely in Espanol, she didn't like it. She turned it to Michelle. She changed her own name, like my mom, from Mary to Mary Ann to Mary Ann, right? She changed her name to Michelle, and but her legal name was Melinda. I don't know if I don't think she was named Michelle. I think it was Melinda Bowen. I'm not sure. We talked about it on our date. She said, no, I call myself that. What? Like, yeah. She goes, no, my name's Melinda. I was like, oh, in Spanish, that means my lovely, You lived down here first. I knew I lived with Mexican people. We ate menudo with poor people in Alabama when I was little, and stuff. But when you get up to Illinois, they make fun of it. So she went by Michelle. Melinda, And, they don't speak Spanish there was less Spanish speakers in Kankakee because it's cold up there, right? You know what I'm saying? In Alabama, it was warmer, so there's more field workers and Mexicans, yeah. Punchy loved menudo, yeah. When he was a little kid, the poor Mexicans, and they, it happens, Best buds. Yeah, man. Killer, you don't know the real killer, man. We would joke about that all the time. Yeah, back in the day, yeah. Jerry Garcia and Jeff Size. We got it from Sonny. Dude, and I only did like once or twice. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way marijuana made me feel. I like being in control of my facsimiles, so I can make sure that people don't do anything stupid to hurt themselves or one another, and that we don't get manipulated or abused by bullies and stuff like that. So I don't like alcohol. I don't like marijuana. It doesn't help me at all in being a gracious good shepherd, period. Okay, it's of no intrinsic value to me, alcohol or marijuana. Okay. What's intrinsic value to me? Sunrise, sunset. What you born with this? I don't know what is real. I know what is real. Okay. And I know what I feel. And when you're not given faith based on reality, you feel shitty. Especially when you don't get, you need so little, yet so much. No, that's not so little. It's much. Okay. Children's sweet laughter and a woman's touch. That's the only thing only way we can feel anything. Okay. Be it the most minute perception of what you consider things, and the most vast and beautiful and glorious of things. The only way we can worship God is through a loving woman's touch and children's laughter, because they're loved too, right? And so it's not Blaise Pascal, it's me. Okay, I'm Earl Parsons. This is me. Okay, stop. Well, that's Jesus, that's David, that's Moses, that's Pascal. This is Earl. I'm tired of being abused for being Earl, and you guys trying to quantify me by the people that are like me throughout history and say, well, you're just reflecting him. He was a genius. You're a moron. Okay, but all the things you guys value. We don't know how good of a soccer player, basketball player, tennis player, football player, or baseball player that Pascal could have been. Right? But we know how good Earl is. And always will be. Okay. Take that, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Tom Brady, the GOAT. No. No. You're talking about a guy that blows the top off the field and takes away half the field. You know, any given Saturday or Sunday or Friday night. Right? Yeah. No. That's not Tom Brady. Okay, Tom Brady would be like, what? I can. It's hard as hell to get anybody open. Why? Because Earl's on that side of the field. Now, if Earl was on my team, shit, it'd be a whole different story. Okay. You just got Parsonsed. Yeah. Okay. No. Richard Jefferson? Yes. Would you like to stop me this time as your auntie who's feeling under the weather in the stands? Okay. You go ahead and intercept that pass. Tom, could you throw it to Richard because his auntie's here? Okay, thanks. You ain't going to give me any lip and do anything stupid like Bill Belichick, or I'm going to kick you in the dick harder than I kicked him in the dick. All right, thank you. Throw it to Richard. Thank you. Richard, you can run back. I ain't going to say Tariq ain't going to catch you and trip you, knock you down and say, you ain't scoring. We just said you could intercept the pass, dummy. Dummy? You lummy. Your mama was a lust and your daddy was a dummy. Okay. Well, he can outrun your ass, right? Okay, so it's funny. Okay. But when you get to the end of the end zone and there's nothing but boundaries to make the catch, it's kind of hard for Tariq to get, Richard's tall, and he jumps up and knocks the ball down, and you see, hey, throw it real low. And Jackie Slater's going to drop it. Okay, we're all just kidding around. I'm kidding. It's just a joke, y'all. No, it was a hard pass to catch. He was running across the thing and stop back through it, and he had to slide down, and it's hard to catch when you're sliding down. And he's not throwing it. It's a quarterback. They throw that fucking thing like a dart, okay? And it's hard to catch. And if you're on your back sliding, you're trying to catch it, and you couldn't have caught it. Shut up, you armchair dumbass. Okay. I hate when people do that. Like, you would do better out there than that guy. Okay, you'd be a better tight end than him. Okay, how come you ain't on the Dallas Cowboys? But the thing about it is yeah, there are better athletes sometimes. But when I play, I don't sit there and say, why didn't he do that? I said, that's hard, and I know he's not as talented as me, so it's a distinct possibility he's not going to make the catch. Right? And then, if he keeps throwing at my nutsack, I'm going to tell him, Roger, I'm going to shove this thing right up your ass if you start abusing me to get me to do what you want me to do. What do you think? I don't want to marry your ass. You ain't got a nice set of tits, a nice set of hips, and, Okay, only the JJ for this guy. I like having babies. Thank you very much. Women, I love women. Okay. All of you that say you love women and then give them money and call it love, you dirty, rotten, rapist bastards. You haven't loved a woman a day in your wretched existence. It might be over 10,000 years. All right, peace out, man. Earl. Earl's a good kid. If you can't handle the good kid from New Mexico, what makes you think you know anything about the people you read books about at your place you call a college that conditions and trains you to accept institutionalization, indoctrination, and incarceration as reality, right? Love you. Freedom! Well, it's bad. Perfect. It applies in physics. Trust me, quantum computing isn't just an overnight fling. And AI gets better here. Peace.